I'm Star with Synergy Healing. Welcome to your full body candlelit deep stretch and relaxation. Check with the doctor before starting any exercise program. But even more important, listen to your body. Make yourself comfortable at home. Have some water by your side, some blocks, cushions, blankets, and wear some nice warm clothes that are loose and comfortable. We'll get started today lying down in Shavasana. On your back, your feet mat distance apart, shoulders tucked down under you, your hands resting by your sides, palms facing up. And just take a moment and arrive on your mat today, allowing your whole body to begin to relax. You can feel your whole body sinking down. Your forehead is relaxed. Your eyes are closed, or you have a soft gaze. Your jaw is relaxed. You can feel your shoulders sinking down even further. Your fingers are curled and your feet splayed out to the sides. If you're noticing that your low back is tight or sore, you could bend your knees, place them at the edges of the mat, and just allow them to fall together. Starting to notice your breath. Begin to deepen and lengthen your inhales. And then ask yourself, can you deepen and lengthen your inhales? Does your breath catch? Is it nice and smooth? If it isn't, do your best to try and even out your breath, allowing it to be nice and smooth. And then just take a little body scan through your whole body, looking for any spots that are sore, tight, painful, achy. If you happen to find any, send your breath to those spots. After a couple of breaths, you might notice the pain begins to lessen. The achiness might even go away. Begin to match your exhales to your inhales. Nice and slow. And now add a pause at the top and bottom of each breath. You could stay with this breath throughout the practice. Samavriti breath or equal parts breath. Or maybe you'd like to try Ujjayi breath, which sounds a lot like the wind or the ocean. Breathe as though you're fogging up a mirror. Now do that same thing, but with your mouth closed. The inhales are done in much the same way. You'll have a slight constriction to the back of your throat. You'll make some noise, but noise is good. Breath is life. You can add in those equal inhales and exhales with that pause at the top and bottom of each breath. and stay with one of these breathing techniques throughout the practice, but if you become anxious or overwhelmed, just let it go and allow your body to return to its natural rhythm of breathing. With a nice strong breath and a soft body, we can set an intention for the practice today. I love and honor all aspects of myself. If that resonates with you, you could use that, or maybe set something of your own. And we'll begin to wake up the body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, turning your wrists and ankles one way and then the other way, slowly rocking your head from side to side. Do a nice stretch, reaching your hands overhead. Bring your feet together, point or flex your toes. Maybe you shimmy your hips. And on an exhale, bring your knees into your chest, wrap your hands around your shins. And you can stay in stillness or maybe rock from side to side. And come back to some stillness. Keep a hold of your right leg. Send your left leg out long. Pressing your left knee down. Both sets of toes pointed up. Inhale and allow your belly to fill with air. On your exhale, try and bring your knee in close. Every inhale, your belly fills up and you expand. Every exhale, maybe your knee comes in a little bit closer. If you have any pinching here, just allow that knee to move out more towards the side. And we'll bring that left knee back in to meet the right. Wrap your hands around your shins once more for a big hug, big squeeze. Keep a hold of that left leg. Send your right leg out nice and long. Pressing your knee down, both sets of toes pointed up. Inhale and expand your belly. Exhale to bring it in closer. And same thing on this side. If there's any pinching in that hip area, just allow that knee to move out towards the side. And we'll bring both knees back in. Wrap your hands around your shins for one final hug. You can lower your feet back down. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated position. Just take your time, there is no rush. Once you arrive in a seated position, sit cross-legged if that's all right with you. Hands just resting on your knees. We're going to start with a nice little neck stretch here. Inhale to grow nice and tall. On your exhale, your right ear goes down to your right shoulder. Your left hand comes down beside you. And maybe your fingers walk away. You can stay right here, sending your breath towards your neck. Be nice and tall, straight spine. We'll bring that hand back to your knee. Inhale to sit back up. And rest right here for a breath or two. We'll inhale, grow nice and tall. On your exhale, your left ear comes down to your left shoulder. And maybe your right hand comes down beside you and those fingers walk away. Bring that hand back to your knee. Slowly come back to seated. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And we're going to begin to make our way to a tabletop position. Excuse me. Stacking your hips over your knees. And we're going to do a wrist stretch. So bringing your hands, palms facing up with your fingertips towards your knees, and just put them down on the earth here, and then slowly fall back until it's feeling good, not bad. Slight feeling of a stretch, and then send your breath right to that. Come back up. We'll turn the hands now, palms facing down, and be slow and careful with your body. Fingertips towards your knees. Slowly lower back. And settling here. We'll be here for about 8 breaths. And just be nice to your body. Sending your breath into the wrists and forearm area. And we'll begin to slowly come back up out of that. Turn your hands back forward, and we're going to make our way all the way down onto the mat. But if you would like a little sip of water, please help yourself along the way. So laying down on our tummies on the left side of the mat. And bring your right hand all the way out beside you. The palm is facing down. Your left hand's just beside you. And then we're going to push our left hand, making our body turn onto our side in a nice big chest opening pose. You can stay right here if this feels good, or do a few changes. Maybe you lift up that upper foot, bend the knee, and place your foot just behind that leg. You can stay right here, or perhaps your top hand comes up and over you. You can rest just like this. And if you find it really uncomfortable for your head, you could use a block, a cushion, a pillow. Settle in wherever you're comfortable. Find some stillness. Come back to that breath. These yin deep stretch poses are really wonderful for our bodies, our minds. Perhaps you'll be able to reach a state of deep relaxation. Maybe you'll be able to reverse some of the signs of stress. Your body might enjoy some more flexibility, increased organ function. Your mind might have some more focus, more concentration. Perhaps you'll be able to observe your emotions, release them, and allow them to move through you. We have two more nice big inhales and exhales left right here. And once you're done those two, you can begin to make your way back all the way onto your tummy. And just bring your hands underneath your forehead. And we'll stay here for a few breaths in this nice relaxing counter pose. Get ready for that other side, moving your body all the way over to the right side of the mat. So take your left hand out to the side, palms facing down. Your right hand's just down beside you. And when you're ready, you can press onto that hand, bringing your body onto its side for this nice big chest opening pose. Either stay right here if that feels good, or maybe you take that upper leg, bend your knee, placing the foot behind. And perhaps that top hand comes up and over you. Just come to wherever you are comfortable. Don't press yourself too far here. Be nice to yourself. And then wherever you do feel comfortable, try and settle into some stillness. And come back to that breath. Try and detach. Let it all go. Make some space. Space for all those new and wonderful things ready to come into your world. So none of these poses, there should be no pain. You might feel some achiness and tenderness. But if there's any pain or any stinging or tingling, numbness, back out of the pose. Should mostly feel pretty good, and you should be able to send your breath to any of those sticky or achy spots and notice that they feel better after a couple of breaths. Speaking of which, we have 2 breaths left right here. And once you're done those 2 breaths, slowly begin to make your way back onto your tummy, resting your head on your hands. Take your time, there's no rush. Then we'll rest here for just a few breaths. When you feel ready for some movement, we'll begin to make our way up onto our elbows. So the elbows will be just underneath the shoulders. Maybe you even move them forward half an inch or an inch. And then you can widen your feet mat distance, and that will allow any pressure in your back to be lessened. And this is a Sphinx pose, and you can stay right here, or perhaps you introduce something like a block or stacked hands to place your forehead on. And this will allow your body that extra deep relaxation, getting into your parasympathetic nervous system. And we hardly ever get to get into that system. Everybody's always rushing around. And we don't spend much time trying to allow our bodies to relax. So this is one of those times when you can do that for yourself. So settle in here, being nice and comfortable, however it is for you to be nice and comfortable. And while you're here, concentrating on your breath, we'll make it a little bit fun. Try and see if you can extend the length of the pauses at the top and bottom of each breath. Maybe you like a 3 count, maybe a 4 count, or see just how far you can go before it becomes uncomfortable. Just exploring your body, noticing how it feels for you today. If you find this is feeling nice, but you might like a little bit more, we're doing a little bit of a back bend here. Keeping your core engaged, press into the palms of your hands, straighten your elbows. And you're coming up into seal pose, where we'll be just for about 5 breaths. If you decide right away you don't like it, just come right back down. If you did come up, you can lower back down, move any blocks aside, stack your hands, and place your forehead back down. After a couple of breaths, if you're ready for a little bit of movement, bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side, releasing any pressure you might have in your back. And then we'll lower the feet back down and get ready for our next pose. Bringing your left knee all the way up to your side, wherever it's comfortable. We're going to relax in half frog. You can have your hands stacked, your head resting on here, or maybe you have a cushion or pillow or blanket. And just relax here in this nice half frog pose, sending your breath to any spots that it might be sticky there for you today. As you're resting here in this half frog, I'll tell you a little bit about one of the concepts from the Far East. I like the concepts they particular one is called ojas. And ojas are a non-physical energy, and they can be all around you, and you can make more ojas. If you have lots of ojas, your passage through life will be well lubricated. You'll have a minimum amount of friction. Everything will just flow nice and easy for you. And in these Far Eastern cultures, an enlightened being is called an enshi. And an enshi means a circle. And a circle moves like a wheel. It has the least amount of resistance, and it's very well lubricated. If you are able to move through the world without being well lubricated, if you move through the world without being well lubricated, you'll find that there's lots of friction, lots of suffering, and difficulty all the way along. So if you can manage to develop these ojas around you, you'll have less friction, less suffering, and you'll move through like a well-lubricated wheel. And we're just going to get ready to straighten that leg back out, forehead meeting on top of your stacked hands. We'll stay for a few breaths right here. Begin to move that right leg all the way up beside. Find a nice comfortable spot for your head. I think I quite liked that block, so I'm going to go back for that. Settle in here and find some stillness. Find some comfort. One of the other parts of our body that's really benefits from these deep stretch poses is the fascia. And the fascia is all over our whole body. It's a big web-like system. It used to be referred to as connective tissue, and it does have a lot of connective tissue in there. As we age, the fascia loses moisture and becomes tight and unable to move, restricted. And these yin poses, these deep stretches, really help to add moisture back into that fascia system. The meridian lines are also within that fascia system. And one part of the meridian line's job is to send messages all through the body to maintain homeostasis. So that's an important job done within the fascia system. So know that as you're here doing these deep stretches today, you're really helping out your body, adding some moisture back in. Just reminding you about your breath, just in case you forgot. Where is your breath? Nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales. And we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Once you're done those 2, you can begin to straighten your leg. Bring your hands back underneath your forehead. And get comfortable here for a couple of breaths. when you do feel like a bit of movement, we're going to make our way onto our back. But before we get there, if you'd like to stop in a seated position, have a little sip of water, please do help yourself to that. And then whenever you are ready to lay down, take a block with you just to have by your side. And get comfy on your back. Your knees are bent. Maybe you have that blanket nearby, just in case you get cold. We'll take that right ankle, bring it over to your left knee. Keep your right foot flexed. Press your knee away from you. And this is a figure 4. You can stay right here if this feels good. Or if you'd like some more from here, lift up your left leg, reach your hands behind your thigh, clasp them together. And you could press that right knee out with your elbow. And while we're here in this figure 4 pose, and we've settled in, we're trying to stay here in stillness, we could add a fun breath into this. Box breath is kind of a fun breath, if you'd like to try that breath. Keep your inhales and exhales at the same count, as well as the pause at the top and bottom of each breath. So you could inhale for a count of 3, pause for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 3, and pause for a count of 3, and then do it all over again. And if 3 is not your number, you can experiment with a different number. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 4, whatever is calling to you today. And just do your best to remain in stillness. If you're noticing some of those sticky or achy spots, try and send your breath into those spots, breaking up the densities, moving those densities through you. We'll be here 3 more breaths. Once you're done those 3, allow your feet to fall back down slowly. And then slowly bring that right foot back down. And you can just allow your knees to tent together. Or if it would feel better in your body, you could straighten them all the way out in front of you. Whatever feels better for you. It's different every day, every pose, every minute. After a few breaths, you might decide you'd like a little bit of movement, and you can bend your knees if you didn't already, keep them bent, and windshield wiper them back and forth slowly. And then we'll get ready for that second side. We'll bring your right ankle to your left. We did that one. Left ankle to your right knee, keeping that left foot flexed. Pressing your left knee away from you. You can stay right here if this is good. Or maybe you lift up your right leg, clasp your hands behind your thigh, and press that left knee out with your elbow. And finding a spot that feels nice, somewhere you can stay in stillness. And come back to your breath. Maybe it's still that box breath. Equal inhales, pauses, and exhales. And sending your breath to those sticky spots. In life, we're here, we learn all sorts of lessons and gain all sorts of experience. And sometimes we have to repeat lessons because we've chosen not to receive the wisdom of the lesson. Do your best to receive the wisdom of the lesson as soon as you can, so you don't have to continue to repeat that lesson over and over again throughout life. But if that's the case, that must mean that's what you're meant to be doing here, which might be okay too. We have 3 more nice big inhales and exhales. When you're done those, begin to lower your feet back down. Maybe you tense your knees together. Perhaps straighten them all the way out nice and long. When you're ready for movement, maybe you just wiggle your feet if your legs are straight. Or maybe you windshield wiper your knees slowly back and forth. And then come back to some stillness. Your feet under your knees, find that block. Press your low back down, peel your hips up. Just enough to place that block underneath you. And your seat should be at about the edge. It should be very comfortable to be on. And you can just relax here, your palms facing up. Or maybe it would feel nice in your body to have your hands above your head. And settle in, coming back to your breath, which we'll play with one more time. On your inhales, starting at your midsection, inhale all the way up your body out to the crown of your head. On your exhales, starting at the midsection, exhale all the way down your body, out your feet. Every inhale starts at the midsection and you inhale all the way up. Every exhale starts at your midsection, exhale all the way down. And try and continue with this breath throughout this pose. Noticing how you feel. You're moving energy around in your body. Speaking of how you feel, if you love this pose and you're thinking, I love it so much, I need a little bit more, you could try straightening your legs all the way out in front of you. And when you get there, and you ask yourself, does this feel good? If it's yes, lovely, stay right here. But if you don't like it, you can bring your feet right back up underneath your knees. And just settle in on that breath here in this supported bridge pose. you did straighten your legs out, let's bring those back up underneath you now. Let's reach those soles up for the sky. Your body should be able to just balance nicely here. You might notice a warm sensation or a cooling sensation coming down your legs. Slowly begin to bring your feet back down. No rush at all. And once you're down, slowly lift your hips up just enough to get the block out. Lower back down. And then choose between tenting your knees or straightening your feet right out. We'll stay right here for a couple of breaths. And just noticing in your body how it feels right at this moment. And getting ready for our next pose. We'll reach our hands either all the way out for the sides of the room or maybe goal post if that feels better for you. Bring your knees up to center. And then just allow your knees to fall down to the left side. Stack your knees, stack your hips. Work to get that right shoulder back down. Mine never does. You could place a block or a cushion or something underneath there. And then perhaps that left hand comes to the outside of your right thigh. And maybe you look over that right shoulder if that feels nice in your neck today. Then just come back to your breath. And we'll send an inhale to your low back area. And then we'll send an inhale to your mid back area. And the next breath to your upper back area. And back down to your mid-back. And then all the way back down to the low back. And then we'll begin to bring our body back to center. Resting here for just a couple of breaths. When you feel ready, your arms come back out to the sides, maybe goalpost, maybe it's all the way out. And then allow your knees to fall down to your right side. Stack your knees, stack your hips. Work to get that left shoulder down, and maybe you look over that left shoulder. Your right hand might come to your left thigh. And settle in here. And you can begin to breathe, inhaling your first breath into that low back area. And your next breath into your mid-back. Up to your upper back. Back down to your mid-back. And then down to your low back. We'll begin to make our way back to center. Your knees can tent together or straighten all the way out. And just take a couple of breaths right here. We'll be settling in for our final Shavasana. So if you'd like a sip of water or any final movements, please help yourself to those now. Maybe get your blanket to get nice and cozy. And if you're looking for a final movement, the one I really love is Happy Baby, where you reach your soles towards the sky, your hands to the outer edges of your feet, work to bring your knees towards your armpits, and you can stay in stillness or rock side to side. Maybe you work to straighten one leg, and then the other leg. Whenever your body feels ready, you can stretch your feet out nice and long, nice and wide. And tuck your shoulders down underneath you. And your hands can be just resting down by your sides. And allow your body a moment or two to receive the benefits from this last 50 or so minutes. And while we're resting here in this Shavasana, after our deep stretch, candlelit, we could do a chakra balance. And the chakras are the energy wheels in our system. We have 7 major chakras. And if you'd like to join me in a chakra balance, just place your hands on your hips and think about the color red for the Muladhara or root chakra. All about being grounded, being safe, and being secure. And we'll move our hands up, placing one on top of the other with the thumb at about the belly button. Think about orange for the Svadhisthana or sacral chakra. All about relationships, sexuality, and creativity. And now bring your hands up to the stomach area and think about yellow for the Manipura or solar plexus chakra. All about our confidence and our power, digestion. Place your hands at heart center and think about green for the heart or Anahata chakra. All about about gratitude and about love, compassion. And place your hands one on top of the other at the throat, but not quite on the throat. And think about light blue for the Vishuddha or throat chakra. All about communication. Speaking and listening to the truth. Bringing your hands just to your forehead for the Ajna or third eye chakra, and think about dark blue. And this is the chakra all about intuition and knowing. Bring your hands just over your head, above your head a little bit. Think about violet for the Sahasrara or crown chakra, all about being connected. And bring your hands just down by your sides. And picture your whole body encased in a beautiful, bright, white, healing light. You're healthy and whole and complete. And perhaps this is a good time to think about the intention that you may have set at the beginning of this practice. And it might have been, I love and honor all aspects of myself. We'll begin to wake up the body, wiggling your fingers and toes, wrists and your ankles, and making your way onto your side in a fetal position, resting your head in your hands. Whenever you feel ready, you can make your way all the way up to seated. You can have your hands either resting on your knees or maybe at heart center if that's okay with you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this full body, candlelit, deep stretch and relaxation. And taking this time out for yourself. The love and light within me sees, honors, and bows to the light that is within you. Namaste. Have a zenful rest of your day.